right, man, let's get right into it now. NFL rivalry jerseys are went into that. 10 o'clock, it is officially 9:20, so definitely be on the lookout for that. In about 40 minutes, we're going to be live reacting to that. So it should be fun. I don't know what the NFL got up their sleeve for us. Is it Color Rush themed? Is it giving homage to Color Rush? We don't know. I think I saw a leak this morning or last night of the Miami Dolphins uniform. I don't know. You have to stay tuned for that. In other news, college football's back. Week 1 preparation. Let's go, y'all. So, freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood, Julian Sain, they're starting, right? CJ Carr started for Notre Dame. Gunner started for the University of Georgia. We all know Go Dogs. Alabama, they have Todd Sampson starting. And so on and so forth. We know who started for Clemson and LSU. We know who started for them. So, Saban being gone, right? New era ahead for Alabama. What are they going to do in year 2 of the Kalen DeBoer era? What are they going to do? I feel like they're going to make great strides to a national championship. They're not going to win it this year because that doesn't go to my dogs, right? I feel like they're going to make the college football playoffs. And, I mean, if they do make the national championship, once again, I don't think they're going to win it. If they do, hey, you know, not really Alabama fan over here. You guys know who I rock with. So I'm going to go ahead and go right into them. The University of Georgia, right? Gunner Stockton, underrated quarterback in my opinion. One of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. I think he's the most underrated in the nation. More underrated than Garrett Nussmeier. More underrated than a Jackson Arnold. More underrated than a Mater at Oklahoma. More underrated than a Cade Klubnik, right? And Cade Klubnik, like I said, they think he's the top 10 pick. I think Garrett Nussmeier is more of a top 10 pick than him. Garrett Nussmeier reminds me so much of a Matt Ryan with a deep ball. And we rarely see Garrett Nussmeier throw the deep ball, right? So if we get into these top 10 teams here, if I can get it up on my screen, we got Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia. That's 1 through 5. 6 through 10, who is it? Clemson, Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma. One problem with that list. Georgia should be a top 3 team. I don't see why Oregon is a top 3 team. I don't. Dylan Gabriel slid by a lot last year and got humbled by Ohio State. That's what happened. He slid by a lot last year and got humbled by Ohio State. Georgia, yeah, we got somewhat humbled by Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was good. They had Riley Leonard and Jeremiah Love. Can't stop that. I can't. I mean, hello. And their offensive line was kind of like OP. Yeah, so, I mean, I understand it's Georgia, and most people expect us to be number 1 team in the country every year. It's not going to happen because of the naysayers. It's not going to happen because, certain rankings have us in certain places. Now, R.J. Young, the great R.J. Young over there at Fox Sports, I feel like if he would have replaced Oregon with Georgia, this list would be perfect. Alabama should even be probably in the top 5. But because of the drop-off and Saban's not being there anymore and Caleb DeBoer first year and how it went, I mean, he's feeling it out. This is an unbiased take. He's feeling it out, right? You can't expect a coach to take over the greatest college football quarterback ever in an instant. You just can't expect that, right? When Kirby Smart came into Georgia, took him some time to win a championship. Took him some time, right, to figure out how to beat Alabama. Finally did it. Twice. So let's debate real quick on what the best storyline would be going into opening week, or weekend rather. I'm going to go LSU Clemson. But before I get into LSU and Clemson, the most underrated contenders, in my opinion, are Georgia and Texas. Nobody's talking about them really winning a national championship except for Texas. They want to disrespect my dogs. Let them keep disrespecting them, right? Let them keep disrespecting those dogs. But you guys ain't saying nothing that's not out the ordinary, not about Arch Manning, right? The brother is going to start fully this season, right? He only played specs against Georgia and felt what it was like. Don't you think we got something planned for him? I'm just saying. Don't you think Kirby Smart has something planned for Steve Sarkisian? Don't you think he has something planned for Brian Kelly? Don't you think he has something planned for Kevin DeBoer and Ryan Williams and those boys? Don't you think he has something planned for Tennessee? Absolutely. Don't don't think that Georgia is not mad about not making the national championship, because last year we could have won. To be completely honest, we could have beat Ohio State. Secondary was kind of trash. It's always Humphrey. It was always him. But the secondary was kind of trash. Obviously, we know what happened to the offense late in the season. Carson Beck, after Alabama, he kind of just went into I don't know, and at times he like Sleepy Joe on the field. I'm like, wake up, man. What are you doing? And then the SEC championship game, when Gunnar Stockton had to take over, I'm like, yo, what we doing? Right? Luckily we had him. If not, we would have lost to Texas in the SEC title game. So, who was more likely to win it all? That's my question. UGA or Texas? I'm going to go UGA. Biased and unbiased take here, because obviously we know what Kirby Smart is able to do. We know his background, we know his repertoire, we know his resume. We know that he is a national championship winning coach. We know that he can do it again. Not to say that Steve Sarkisian has not won the big dance, because he hasn't, but has not been there yet. So let's think about that from a perspective too. Now with Alabama, harping back to them and Ryan Williams and Todd Simpson and those boys, you have to understand something, Kalen DeBoer. This is not Nick Saban, right? When you were referring to Alabama football, you were referring to one of the greatest, if not the greatest program known to sports in terms of college football, right? That's nothing to take away from Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, or any of these top 10 schools, but Alabama has the brass ring. And that leads me to LSU versus Clemson. Both of these teams have beaten Alabama in the past and will proceed to do it again, probably not this season, but we know in the future things can happen. Both of these teams have meaningful victories over Alabama. We know what happened when Joe Burrow had that Heisman winning performance against Alabama in 2019. We also know that Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, and Deshaun Watson both beat Alabama after losing to them. What was it, the following year before? I believe it was, from Jalen Hurts, right? Just know that Georgia won't lay down for anybody. Just know that LSU's not going to lay down for anybody. Just know that Clemson's not going to lay down for anybody. That's why Texas and Ohio State have to come with it. LSU's going to win this game. They're going to win this game. Which Tiger do I prefer? Do I trust more in 2025? Not only to win this game, but for the 2025 college football season? Oh, it's Garrett Nussmeier and us boys. Easy. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU, they're really the true Tigers. And that's nothing to take away from Clemson. But when we think about Tigers, we think about either, who do you think about? Let's be honest. Do you think about the Auburn Tigers? Do you think about the LSU Tigers? Or do you think about the Clemson Tigers? I think about LSU and Auburn, but I think about LSU a little bit more just because of the stature that they have had over the past decade. Nothing to take away from Auburn, because I love Cam Newton. I love all my boys. All right? Yes. So, Dabo Swinney versus Brian Kelly. Who's going to win that matchup? Brian Kelly. I feel like his defense is more of a sensible defense. And what I mean by that is Clemson's defense is NFL ready. It's like Alabama defenses of last decade. Every single one of those players pretty much went to the NFL and became stars. Or went to the NFL in some capacity and was a contributor on their team. That's what you can get out of Clemson this year. Clemson feels like they're back to those Deshaun Watson days, those Trevor Lawrence days. They feel like they're fully back, right? LSU, with Jaden Daniels being gone, Garrett Nussmeier fully taking over last year, Cade Klubnik, hey, it's your time, buddy. I need you to show why you're a top 10 pick. Garrett Nussmeier has already shown me why he's a top 10 pick. He's just got to go out there and probably win the Heisman Award. Not to say that he ain't going. I mean, he's going to be in the talks. He has to be. Don't be surprised if Gunnar Stockton's in it either. But here's my thing. When you look at what college football is going to bring to you this season, upsets are coming. Just be patient. Just be patient. I was telling my mom last night, Alabama versus Florida State, just be patient. I feel like it's coming, okay? Alabama fans, just be patient. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Just be patient, okay? It's all right. If you lose to Florida State, you lose to Florida State. If you lose to us, I mean, hey, a little revenge, but it's coming. It's coming. And speaking of drama, speaking of buzz, speaking of top tier level talent, last topic of the day I'm going to get into is Micah Parsons. Now, listen here. Cowboys, you have no leverage. As much as people want to say you have leverage, you have no leverage. No leverage whatsoever. If Micah Parsons want to get moved, doggone it, within the next 48 hours, like that tweet said, I think Micah Parsons gets dealt. Unless they somehow get a deal done. Still wondering how Trey Henderson got his deal. Still wondering how that happened, right? How he just sat there and said, I'll take this 1 year. That's another story, Cincinnati. But I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are going to trade their best defensive player since DeMarcus Ware. They ain't doing that. They ain't doing that. Defensive players, great defensive players, hard to come by. You got Trayvon Diggs, right? Kind of fell off the map a little bit. He's still good. Obviously, you got Micah Parsons. We know about him. You had Jalen Smith. We can go on the list of all the good defensive players you have for the last decade, okay? Okay? Like, Sean Lee up there. Lane Vander Esch. I mean, I can go on the list. Jordan Lewis was a consistent corner at least. You let him leave to the Jaguars. It's okay. They have no leverage, though. And Micah being moved, I don't think it's a good chance, but never say never, right? We have seen star players been moved in the NBA and NFL too, and the MLB. So let's hold our horses. Let's make sure that all the pieces are aligning together before we make assumptions about a possible trade from Micah Parsons. Now, to wrap this up, I'm going to say this. Alabama, don't try so hard. Georgia, you already know what to do. You already know what to do. Not going to say nothing else to you. Ohio State, work Julian Sain into that lineup very, very well. Texas, don't put Arch Manning in a position to lose right away. Please don't. Oregon, just survive. Oklahoma, I expect good things from you this year. LSU, please beat Clemson. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but please. Notre Dame, nah, man. It ain't going to work this year. Penn State, I ain't even harp on y'all, but y'all better get over the hump this year. If not, James Franklin has to be gone. Gone. Last but not least, you know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is.